In today's first impressions video, we're going to be looking at Docked Demo. This is part of Steam Next Fest, and it is brought to us by Sabre Interactive. It is a very high quality game that is all about moving containers around a docking yard. Sounds pretty simple, sounds possibly boring, and yet I feel it's going to be incredibly compelling. So let's jump into this and see what the demo is all about. Your settings then. Even though this is just a demo, the settings are pretty good. What I will say is that the cutscenes and the general gameplay can be a bit stuttery if you have your motion blur on. The game isn't the best optimized so far, but it's still pretty damn good. It runs pretty well on all accounts. You've only got your general settings for subtitles. You've got mouse and keyboard and controller options here. I don't think they've got wheel support. I haven't really tried, which makes sense considering it's more crane work and possibly using a joypad or a joystick rather than a wheel. But you've got all of these different things you can turn on and change and invert as you so see desire. You've got your audio settings here. You've got master, music, sound effects, UI, voice volume, and stereo. Everything is at 100, but it's not all that loud, so I've kind of kept it there as well. You've got your display settings, so you've got your screen resolution, display mode, dynamic resolution, vertical sync, targeted frame rate, and gamma correction. And then you've got your graphic settings. Now, I've got it on ultra, but like I say, I've turned the motion blur off. It has the ability to scroll here, but it doesn't scroll. Your scroll wheel doesn't do anything. You have to sort of move your mouse, or if you're using a controller, just go down to each of those. There is a decent amount of options here, but again, I feel like it's not completely well optimized yet, and it would be nice if there was a few more options for more shadows and more things that you could customize to get the best experience. And again, you're going to want to turn that motion blur off because it does affect the frame rate. Overall, a very good settings menu, and it does make me very excited for what the game has in store for us. But what does the demo actually allow you to do? As always, demos are very limited, and I prefer a demo and Steam Next Fest to betas and endless early access and roadmaps. I'd rather have a demo to see what I'm getting before I pay for the actual game itself. What you get in the demo is you get your jobs, so you've got 4 jobs you can choose from. You can look at the map, although a lot of it is hidden behind the full version. So you can see here that you're going to have a lot of areas that you can go to. It's going to unlock. It's very Mudrunner and SnowRunner-esque here with all of the areas shown on the map. But again, everything at the minute is locked behind the full game. So this is just giving you a preview of what you're going to be able to see. And then you've got your economy, where you, again, is hidden behind the full version, but it lets you get an idea of how it's going to go. So you've got your audience here, and then you've got your processing here, which looks like a resource tree or a research tree. And you're going to be able to unlock different things and do different things in the full game. Vehicles and milestones are currently grayed out, but that means that we're going to be able to buy, upgrade, and get newer vehicles to make the missions a bit easier. And again, with the map, you're probably going to be able to go to different areas and get different missions there. And then as you can see, I've already done the first mission, which is just teaching you how to use the crane. And then it's taken a very Roadcraft-esque style to this, where you've got different scenarios with each job, and you'll choose which one you want, and you'll go through and do what they ask you to do. Let's see how the game runs and plays. When you load into the game, you're going to get a cutscene that shows you the area that you're on and what you're going to have to do in order to complete the mission. I will say that load-in times for this are a little bit long for my liking, and hopefully they can improve that on the full release. Again, I feel that comes down to the optimization and general amount that you're going to need. Again, these demos for both docked and busbound were 20 and 40 gigs a piece. For a demo, that's kind of insane. So as you can see, we've got to reach the reach stacker, or use the reach stacker to complete the task, which gives you a new vehicle to get. And then it tells you more instructions here. So we've got to move the 20-foot container, then move the 40-foot, and then both are delivered to the designated area. So it's a pretty simple fetch and release quest, but it's teaching you how to use different vehicles. And again, as you can see here, the graphics are genuinely kind of incredible. Now, I am using controller, and it is pretty easy controller. You've got your details here that you can sort of see and experience, or you can hide them. And then when you're in the machine, you should get a number of new controls coming up on your left-hand side. You can hide them at any given time if you don't really feel like you need them, but I'm forgetful and I'm definitely going to need them. I'm going to start the engine here. And then I'm assuming that we move forwards and backwards. And if we look on the light, we've got the brakes here. How do I move forward? Open the radio manual by pressing... Ah, right, here we go. And then we hit drive mode. There you go. Close. There you go, we're in drive mode. So, we go through here. I don't know if this gate is going to open automatically. It does. We can switch views here, so you can go to a third person. Driving these machines is kind of awesome. It makes you feel very, very powerful. Especially if you don't generally do this sort of thing for a living or anything. It's one of the reasons why Mudrunner, SnowRunner, Roadcraft, they all do incredibly well because of the satisfaction and the general feeling of badassery that it gives you. And I am a big fan of that. I like how it's rear-wheel drive. As you can see, everything runs fairly smooth. You've got your quests. You'll have some dialogue in the bottom as well that kind of makes it feel like a story, even though this is mission-based. And it just generally looks very, very good. There's a few stutters here and there. I am on Ultra. And for those wondering, I have an i9 10 series and a 4060 Ti 16 gig. So that should give you an indication of how this is going to run. And then we're going to raise our boom here, and we're going to go ahead and extend that. Now, what is nice is when you come to using the crane, you will see that we have these green bars on the bottom, which is going to tell us if we're in line or not, and when we are, we will be able to lock in. So as you can see, I'm not quite there. It is very precise and will probably make you lose your goddamn mind. And then you press A to connect it up and lift it and drive it to where we need to go. Bing bang bosh, nice and easy. Now what is nice is that yes, we put it into drive mode originally, but then it switches between drive mode and crane mode seamlessly. I haven't had to press anything. It just, you take it to the area and it will automatically do that, which is kind of good because it is a bit finicky having to go to the radio menu, etc. All in all, I'm very, very impressed with how this game looks, runs, sounds and plays. I'm very, very excited for the full release of Docked, coming, I believe, either later this year or next. So we're going to put that down like so. And then we're going to release it like so.
Going for the second.
Nice and easy. One other feature that I really like about this is that you can see your man turning the wheel and he's using one hand and he's using the little noggin, and it's just a nice little touch of detail that you don't often get on other games, or if you do, they don't seem to be very accurate. I would like to see wheel support with this game. I haven't tried plugging the wheel in, but it doesn't look like it has it yet, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But again, with all the other buttons and things that you've got, I'm not really surprised they haven't. However, I do have a control panel and a farm stick that I think would work absolutely fantastic with this game. Let me know in those comments down below what you think. Let me know if this is the sort of game for you, and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao, ciao.